Welcome to the Walt Weekly, and thank you for joining. Today we have with us our co-host Ernest J. Robinson, better known as Sergeant Robinson, and we have Miss Briggette Stokes. I want to thank y'all for joining. And what we're going to talk about today is what's going on in politics. We got some strange stuff going on, but I tell you, I like the way things have shaped up, and I think it's going to be an exciting race. All right. With that
Yeah.
said, y'all guys got to get out and register, vote. I mean, if you don't do anything else for your people in your country, vote. That's all you got to do. You can mess up all year. I don't care, but vote. That's every election cycle. Vote. That's all you got to do. We're not asking for a lot. I don't think, right? Okay.
Right.
So with that said, now Ernest, you know
Yeah.
how we roll, right? We roll.
Yes.
And, I rely on you because you have an extensive knowledge of the U.S. government apparatus. Is that right? Apparatus, right? Damn, I don't know where I got that word. But anyway, Ernest, what are your thoughts, buddy, on what's going on, with the campaign for president?
Yeah. So, I mean, right now is a very exciting time with, Kamala being the presumptive nominee, with the nominee on the Democratic side. You have Tim Walt, who is going to be her pick for a VP. And I think it's a solid pick. I was not necessarily leaning for him. I was actually hoping it would have been probably Josh Shapiro out of Pennsylvania, being a battleground state from a strategy standpoint.
I thought so too.
Yeah. And then, and as I said before, since we're doing this conversation, right? The contrast between the candidates from both standpoint, both the principal standpoint for that are going for POTUS, and then the two VP picks. When it comes down to experience, when it comes down to character, when it comes down to understanding how to, I don't like the term like get things done, but like how legislation works, how working across the aisle works, how engaging with the community works. The Harris Walt ticket, screams that, it's all more so about the people than it is about the party. It is more so about the, making good policy that makes sense across the board versus what makes sense for stakeholders and, and everyone else. On the opposite side, on the other side, you have both individuals who are opportunists. You have both individuals who flip-flop on issues based upon the time of day and which direction the wind may blow.
So Kamala and Trump, they flip-flop. That's what you're saying?
No. I was saying both both Trump and Vance, JD Vance.
Okay.
Yeah, I was being very specific. Yeah, JD Vance and the reason I'm saying that is because like you had JD Vance. I mean, if you look, he was a never Trumper.
Yeah, that's what I'm so surprised about, how he could flip flop, how people can trust him going forward.
Mm-hmm. And then you have Trump, and which a lot of people don't really talk about as much. He was a longtime Democrat. I mean, So, and he only became a Republican in 2011. So there's a lot. This is but the fact of the matter, like I said, going back to why it's so exciting, because of Kamala, because of Tim Walz, because of, you had the first woman VP, now potential first woman president of the United States.
Right.
I think she's going to have a strong support with Tim Walz in there. I think we have an opportunity being able to maintain the overall integrity of this current administration. That's going to carry over to there's going to be some changes that will happen in this new administration that comes in. But I think for the most part, the battle rhythm that's been established, I think is going to be able to continue without much interruption. And I think that a lot more people are getting involved, which I think is going to strengthen the kind of the base of the American people and being able to support some of these initiatives that may come from Congress, but to kind of have that spread out amongst all the people. So it's going to be interesting.
Well, the thing is, the power emanates from, whether you have a majority in the Senate or, the House of Representatives, right?
Correct.
You can have the president, but if he doesn't have any support, from both those places or those houses rather, then it's like you're spitting in the wind. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. What see?
Yeah. And go ahead, Ernest.
Well, yeah, I want to say the most important. Yeah, that is a huge piece, as you said, Barbara. With the House and the Senate. But even what becomes most important is the strength of its people. Meaning that even if the opposite side of whichever side that I choose to vote for wins, right? If I'm a Democrat and the Republican wins, or I'm a Republican and the Democrat wins, the strength of the people to going to influence those lawmakers to make those changes. Oftentimes, we defer our power to those who are elected. Proposals, if we go back to Schoolhouse Rock, right? I'm just a bill sitting on Capitol Hill, but I'm only just those bills, proposals of bills should come from the people. And but when we defer to our authority and our power and rule and everything else to those who are elected, then yes, that becomes more of an issue for the president, whoever the president may be. It becomes more of an issue for quote unquote the party. But if we just look just from a policy standpoint, if we were able to understand how to write policy, how to support that policy from the beginning all the way through implementation, right? Because oftentimes we have great ideas, but we don't put it down on paper. We might put it down on paper, but we don't give it to the persons who need to be able to do it. When we give it to the person, we don't support that person to being able to get it passed. And so it becomes a point where we need to have a better understanding of how policy is developed. Let me throw the word politics out of it. How do we develop good policy, good legislation, rules that we are able to follow in agreement and make sure that it's a sustainable way of doing it? So, but yes, if we elect from the House, the Senate, and as well as the president, I think we'll be in a good or better position. Yes. Hello. And I lose y'all. Oh, well, you're on mute.
Thank you, Bridget. One thing I want to bring up as a prime example of what Ernest was saying is that you look at the immigration, how the Republicans say people crossing the border, they're doing this, and our borders are open and people pouring in like water. But don't forget, there was a bipartisan immigration bill.
Yep.
All right. That was agreed to. Actually, it was a Republican bill. Okay. That was agreed to. And then when it got to the House, they killed it because Trump said he wanted to wait until he got in. So what gives him the right, or did he forget, or he's just so old and senile that he doesn't remember that he stopped the bill that would have really brought some remediation to the border situation? That's what I don't understand. All right. It's so convenient for them to forget what they've said or what they've done. I mean, if you have a person like that as president, that would just, all out blame Biden when they had something in the works and that was agreed to by both parties. And then they're going to say, oh, the border's open there. That's nonsense. It's really, really pitiful for people to listen to this guy. All right? Really pitiful.
But that's because he wanted to have something to, to continue to, well, this is my expression and my opinion, to lie about. He knows that it could be passed, but give me some material that I can go out there and spew lies or to people that may not comprehend as well as others about what's going on in this bill. Sometimes I'll be listening to their rallies they have for the Republicans, and when they be interviewing some of those people, I'll be saying, well, who are they getting these facts from? But they're listening to the chief who wants to become an emperor, or let me say, person who wants to become a Putin or whatever. That's what I see.
I was about to say a lot of times it is the newsletter outsources that they're listening to, and what happens is that Trump can say, "Hey, kill the bill, don't get it passed," because Newsmax or Fox News is not going to report that Trump said that he wanted the bill to die. Right? They're not going to report it that way. So then, therefore, they don't know that that's what happened, right? And if it's not from their source that they trust, quote unquote, then anything else that may be said that contradicts what they believe, they're just not going to believe it. And so he's able to get away with it because there you have a people who are uninformed. And so therefore they're going off of, and what a lot of people do is they get caught up in their feelings instead of what the reality is and what's factual. But Walter, you about to say something?
No. I was listening.
Yeah.
I do want to add that if you look at that bill that was not even taken up, not even voted on when it got to Congress, when it got to the House of Representatives, it got Johnson. He could check with his boy, and Trump said, "No, I don't do anything with this now. All right, wait until I get elected." I don't think that's going to happen. I'm praying very hard, but it's just a shame. And then they turn it back on Biden, and that's just it's just incomprehensible to me. All right, incomprehensible.
And I think to Bridget's point, right, this is the reason why those local elections and everything is so important. Because there's a number of things that's occurred, right, that is actually the issue for anyone who was 18 years of age in 2016, right? Or let me go back to 2012. Anyone who was age of 18 back in 2012, right? The issue that we're experiencing now are partly because those individuals who did not vote during those elections played a part in this issue. Reason being, right? In 2012, obviously, we had the presidential election, but we had several gubernatorial elections across the country. We also had several different members of the House of Representatives that also had elections. And many of the people that we're seeing now that are emerging as the front runners and stuff like that, so the Mike Johnsons, the J.D. Vances, the Rob Johnsons of Wisconsin and everything, they were all elected during those periods of time. During those periods of time where President Obama lost the majority in the House and in the Senate, then in 2016, when he's actually, 2015, when he's going to put Merrick Garland up to the Supreme Court, he's unable to do it because the majority was in the Senate and Mitch McConnell blocked that appointment, which should have been able to pass. So then in 2016, then everyone else who doesn't come out to vote, you have Donald Trump who gets voted into office, and then you have a majority both in the House and both in the Senate. And so then it makes it very, very difficult to being able to do anything, right? Now, then we get the House back. But let's also think about all of the judges that are voted on, all of the district attorneys that are voted on. Because again, if you look back in 2013, you have the Trayvon Martin situation, right? Then you look back, or 2012 into 2013, you have the Trayvon Martin situation. So, but all those people are all elected.
Mhm.
So again, that goes back to the importance of what Bridget was saying, is those voting those local elections. Okay, then fast forward into what we're experiencing today. We wouldn't experience some of those things right now had we had voted before. A lot of people don't know the Senate, it's a 6-year term. So you don't, if you sit
I
out
forgot
off
about
your
that.
election,
Yeah.
you can't vote on that senator for another 5 years.
6-year term.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, true. I used to, I forgot totally about
Yeah.
that. But anyway, I'd like to just change it a little bit. All right. What
That's
do you
right.
think? And this is something I always wanted to bring up, and I've been very reluctant over the years to bring it up on
Mhm.
my show, of the support from a few black folks, all right, of the MAGA Republicans. I cannot understand that. It's just, I don't know. Are they traitors? Are they opportunists? I think that it's the latter. But y'all got to talk to me about that. What do you think about these black folks up there? I mean, if they made over 400,000, they could say, "Well, look, I'm saving $50,000 of taxes per year if I vote for if Trump is in the office versus Biden." Okay, but that's kind of you're giving up giving up everything, your credibility,
Mhm.
all right, for $1. You know what I mean? That's the way I look at that.
They're a combination of, I laughed a little bit and chuckled because I think they're a combination of everything that you named: opportunists, identity problems, just a whole lot of stuff there. There's no reason for them to not even see the picture, the whole picture. I believe they see it, but sometimes people within themselves have to feel, maybe they don't feel like they belong. Maybe they feel like, hey, this is where I belong. I don't even know if they're going on the policies or not that the Republicans stand for, or the megas, because we don't have a Republican Party right now. I think it's still a mega party. It's Donald Trump's party. I don't know. And some of the people that following him are people that they hired. You interview those people. They don't know what they're talking about. They don't know nothing. And those people out there that's just trying to promote him, especially our people. Like they always say, skin folks ain't always kin folk. I think theirs is just more opportunity than anything, just so they can have an opportunity to be somebody. Let me just make it simple and plain.
All right, Ernest, you want to chime in on that?
So the way that I kind of look at it, if we go back to slavery, right? There were people who was like, well, why are you agitating these good folk? Like, they take care of us, they give us food, we got some eats, and we got some clothes, and so you do have that. I do believe, like, moving forward now into this age, that there is some disassociative identity there are some misunderstandings of history, but we've always had folks who look like us who thought it was better to be slaves, or to be in these types of positions. There's a lot that has not necessarily have changed from that, right? There was people that did not support the civil rights movement, right? That also labeled Dr. King and Malcolm X as agitators, that did not support
agitators.
Right.
That's correct.
Yeah. So what we're seeing now is nothing new. When we hear people sit there and say, oh, well, racism is over, and this is over, and that's over. You still in the 2010s, like 2011, between 2010, 2015, there were still high schools in Mississippi that still had separate graduations and separate proms.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
That's so true. And I always tell folks, remember, Harriet Tubman herself had to make some of the black folks didn't want to go to freedom. she had to make some of them go. You say, you know, you can die with me or go with me, but some of them, their mind is not set to, like you say, they're still against, you know, I'm safe in this space. I'm safe as being that
I mean, it's
slave.
come a matter of complacency and a level of
Complacency.
comfort and the fear of the unknown.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That unknown was
Yeah,
freedom.
so there's also
You
a
know, how
thing
can
too,
you
right?
handle that?
Your reality is not my reality, right? And because a lot of people, you don't experience it, you don't know it exists. So when someone tells you that this is how it is, it's foreign to you. Many of us have all traveled around the world, right? And we visit different cultures. And to sit there and say, well, I'm black or I'm African American or whatever it can be, like if you're in another country, that sounds foreign, it sounds weird to people to say that. I met a Moroccan. I was driving, whatever case may be, and we were having a conversation, and he was like, "Yeah, in Morocco, we're just Moroccans. Like, there's different religions, and therefore you may be a Christian Moroccan or a Muslim Moroccan or wherever it can be, but at the end of the day, everyone's a Moroccan. No black or white. That doesn't exist as in context wherever it can be. That's something that's a Western, feeling to that. And so some people and then like if you think about it now too, if you make a certain amount of money, you live in a certain neighborhood, you don't see crime the way that you see it. You don't have interactions with certain people, even if you live in a rural area and you have a town of 3,500 people and everybody knows everybody and everyone went to the same school. Your interactions are just different. And so there may be some ignorance or unawareness of what's happening that also that combination that plays into what it is that we're seeing. And I think that if we're just a little empathetic to what someone may be saying, right? Then I think it gives us an opportunity to be able to find some common ground to be able to kind of grow and learn together about, what's actually affecting all of us and how we can actually address it.
Okay, I want to change direction a little bit. And I want y'all guys to tell me, are there any black jobs?
Yours and mine.
Are there any black jobs? I'm looking as a retiree. I'm always looking to add some money to my, to my retirement. The fixed income is good sometimes, but a lot of times you're scared. So I'm trying to define. If y'all guys can define me a black job, but what was your interpretation of Trump when he said, they're coming, they're taking the black jobs?
Racist for me. I got one word. That was just a perspective of you of being a racist person. Now, I'm from the South, from the small town of Carolinas, and we can see through words or the way you frame things. And when I heard that, I said, he's making a racist statement. He's trying to tell black folk that's all we can do. We're supposed to be limited. So that's just the way I perceive it, because that's the way I grew up, to be able to read between lines of racism.
All right, what about this DEI? So to me, if you interpret that for how they said it, I guess, is that if you made it in this economy, in the United States, and achieve goals and whatever, and if you're black, you're DEI, or that diversity, equity, and inclusion. That's the only way you made it. So all your hard work, sweat, tears, it's for naught, right? It doesn't count. You're gonna get it, because it'll be favoritism because of your minority status. Yeah, I don't get that either. What do y'all guys think about that?
So there is. So the way that it's being used, I think is conflated, and it's obviously used as a trope, to kind of signify something else that's less than similar to how affirmative action was attacked when it was first introduced and being implemented. But buying like definition about like what actually took place and what actually happened was, what was that? There was a determination of like purpose in when the announcement was made, I'm only going to hire a woman. Okay. If that statement is made, then that kind of tilts the hand to what's intended. So Biden made that statement when he was running for president. But yeah, no, I don't think it should be used in a negative way. But I think that there was some truth as to how everything kind of unfolded. I do believe that she's more than qualified. Definitely, so when they're using it in a way to kind of diminish someone's qualifications, that in itself is an abuse of that particular person and what they're actually able to bring. And they're using it, like I said, as a dog whistle, as a trope, to kind of, again, diminish what that individual person has accomplished. And so I don't believe it should be used in that way. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, the only thing I can say is, and I want to close out with this, they're not like us.
Thank you for joining the Walt Weekly. We can be found at Facebook, The Walt Weekly Podcast, Twitter, @Walt Weekly, Instagram, The Walt Weekly, and www.thewaltweekly.podbean.com. Please like, follow, and share.